wah, 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 wah. You open the door up and they go running to the door, then they see you and they run away. And as you walk away, they start like poking their head out and then they go out and they're hilarious.
Ducks.
Ducks. Yeah, with Indian runner ducks. They can't fly. Or they can like go like a foot in the air.
Really?
Yeah, but they just walk around the ground and
Behave like chickens.
yeah, and stuff and
Do they eat ticks?
yeah.
Good.
Go back to.
Yeah.
One of the winters I lived in Montana, I lived.
You can just maximize the
For
small
ranch.
window in the
And
corner.
I took care of a dozen cattle, 2 horses and a flock of geese. And I don't know why they had geese, but they had geese.
They had geese.
But I would come, the food was outside the fenced in shelter area. I would come with a pail and every morning,
You can.
the little fuckers would just
Yeah.
attack me, come at me with their beaks. You know, I was doing it for like 4 months. It wasn't like I was a stranger,
And still,
just come at
I
you.
think
Just didn't like you.
These are mean.
Yeah, they can.
And I had mud boots and overalls. I mean, they.
Yeah.
Give this to you just in case.
Thank you.
Remember when Tessner's used to have those geese and I'd walk up to them I mean, they were in a fenced in area. They all started hissing at you.
Yeah.
And then when the Bayfield was up at Fraser, and we were waiting for them to clear the ice out of the dry dock. And so it was like a 4 mile walk from where the Bayfield was sitting on the wall to the dry dock. You had to walk around their building and I came around the corner and there was a whole flock of geese and their younglings.
Nesting, yeah.
yeah.
And they all stopped and stared at me and started hissing. And I'm like, I'll go
I think
around.
it's going the other way.
It scared the crap out of me.
I got bit by one at the Omaha Zoo when I was just a little kid.
So they really are aggressive.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They are. Yeah.
especially if they got their little younglings.
Now I know what an AED is.
Oh, you? Oh,
I didn't know what that. And I was telling Glenn, I have one in me.
Oh, you do?
oh,
Yeah, it's implantable.
Great.
I've had it for almost 15, 2 of them is the second new version. But it's in case there's a stroke or something,
Or an abnormal rhythm.
it goes and
Has it ever happened?
no,
Good, good.
no. But psychologically, it's kind of nice to.
Do you have to charge it or anything?
Holy. No.
He's got a little electrode fine fingers that plugs in.
Yeah, I got another 3 years or something on that battery. Like these, they go on forever.
Not quite.
Not quite. But nor do I, so.
There you go.
Less than a minute. Morning, Cal. Morning, Susie.
Morning.
Morning.
All right, it is 9 o'clock, Thursday, May 28th. I'll call this meeting of the Board of Harbor Commissioners for the town of LaPointe to order. With us this morning, we have Mary Ross,
Here,
Jay Wiltz, Michael Collins,
Here.
Evan Erickson,
here.
myself, Glenn Carlson.
Here.
Via Zoom, we have Susie Widmer
Hi.
and Katie Kisner as well, and Cal Linehan from Miffle. No members of the public present, but I will still open the floor for public comment. Hearing no public comment, let's move on to the minutes of the May 11th meeting.
I move that we accept the minutes of.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, consider approval of dredging and piling contract.
CAO.
Oh, see, how about Chief Administrative Officer report? Thanks off.
Katie.
Off mute here. Hi, everyone.
Bueller.
So the current balance of the Harbor Commission bank accounts, this was as of Tuesday, May 26th. The Miffle utility checking account was at $252,908.70. The May revenue, this was as of Friday, the 22nd, so before the holiday weekend, was at $258,230.06, which was roughly about 58% of the budgeted income for the month. I did talk with Pete about the middle road structures, to have them removed. He said that the town could get it on their schedule for the end of October if the Harbor Commission would like. So I don't know if that's the route that we'd like to go. We would just need to let Pete know and they'll get it on the schedule. And then I was hoping to have the Memorial Day weekend traffic comparison. It actually looks like Cal might have just forwarded that to me. So I will send that to everyone. I was just hoping to have a comparison between this year's traffic and last year's traffic. So I will get that sent to everyone.
In a nutshell, what does it look like? About flat or even or a little better, a little worse?
That would be a Cal question. He literally, like, it just popped up that he sent it to me, so
Cal.
I can open
So
it real
it's-
quick unless Cal would like to chime in
Yeah,
about the
it's
comparison.
It's, I would say kind of overall, it's relatively flat. Memorial weekend passengers 98% comparative, so we're a little down. Child we're a little down. Cars were up. Trucks are up. Miscellaneous is up. So overall, I would say it's flat. Marathon weekend was up pretty considerably. 13% on adults. Up definitely on children on 200%, 109% on cars, 200% on bikes. So marathon was up, quite a bit. That's not massive numbers. It's substantially less than Memorial weekend numbers as far as like total overages. So like up in that isn't as significant. It doesn't quite make up for being down, 2%. It probably actually washes out between the two of them. One of the suggestions that we have on that is, kind of what we're thinking is if somebody already has a tentative plan, we're guessing that, if they have a reservation such as, well, I'm running a marathon, those people are still showing up. But as far as discretionary travel, we're guessing that that's because of the high gas prices. We're going to see some of that, well, let's go up for the weekend just to see what's going on, is probably going to be down a little bit. That's our take on it.
Well, school is still in session too. It's not ready vacation time yet.
Thank you, Cal.
It's Collins. Are we passing on information to Alex so that she can post some of this data on the website?
Yeah, so I do still have to get her the ridership number updates, but
Yeah.
I think it was last week I provided her the monthly reports up and through April to get to the website. I have not been on the website to check to see if that was up yet, but she did. We were a little behind with my maternity leave and everything with that stuff, so that was on my list. And ridership is next to get her the updated numbers for that, but she does have the updated reports through April.
Great, thank you.
Katie, is there some reason that only Alex can make those changes, do those updates to the website?
I would have to ask her if there's any reason that she said that she'd be more than happy to continue to put that stuff on the website every month. I can ask her if she has a problem or if there's a reason that I'm not able to do that.
It just seems like it would cut out one step if,
Yeah,
if
no,
she didn't have
I'm
to-
happy to ask her if she
Okay.
would care if I did that.
Okay, great, thanks.
And we're not quite there yet, but I think that'd be the perfect place for these, for the Miffle trip cancellation reports. I think that's good information for the public.
Oh, yeah, I can ask her to add that on there.
Just more, this is a question now for Jay. I had heard there was talk at one point of doing a burn on the Middle Road property for the practice burn.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten an update where we're at. I know that Northwood Tech had given it their like preliminary thumbs up. And then they have to do a second site inspection, I think is the next step. They have to come over again,
Okay.
make sure like any like hazardous materials have been removed so they can burn it without we're getting hurt, and they'll sound the roof and stuff like that. And then they'll probably set a date. I think the tentative time frame was this fall sometime, I think was the last I heard.
But so then if that occurs, then the town would come in and clean up, or is the town gonna, if? would
Yeah,
clean up-
that'll be up to the town if they want, you know, who and how they want to do whatever, you know.
I guess those trees will have to come down,
I don't know.
because I mean, they're right up against that house.
I haven't
Like the spruce along the
Yeah.
fence in between there and.
Yeah, then there's that big ash tree.
I'm guessing probably.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be a good practice for exposures.
Pen.
What, Susie?
Sorry.
I will follow up with Tyler. He's the one coordinating all that, so I will get another update.
And I've seen Brenna over there a few
Yeah.
times removing his stuff. Do you know if he's got everything out of there now?
Okay.
Guessing
No
not.
idea.
Are
He
you
had until the
asking
end of-
me or Cal?
Either one, anyone who has any information.
I haven't been informed, no, that they've had gotten everything out.
And he has until the end of May, is that correct?
That was the date that we provided, yes, the end of May.
So,
I guess, Cal, if you have anyone over there, and notice that all of his items have been removed, if you could just let Katie know.
Yep, I'll have someone go in and do an inspection.
Great.
shouldn't we be doing it? It's our property.
Well, it's been there historically. They're both like, they know what's in there as far as inventory and belongings. So I mean, we could send someone in there also, but they would know the status of that building before and after better than anyone else, I'd imagine.
And they use some of that, I mean, they use at least the outside for storage of those, ties.
Mhm.
Uh,
Is Miffle's stuff out of there, Cal?
My understanding is we still have some things in the garage, but that's it. And then, of course, some things in the yard, but
Are the spare props and shafts in that garage, or did you move them to Bayfield?
those should all be, I'm trying to account for all of them. They should all be in the coop over here, is my understanding. The props. I don't believe we actually have any spare shafts anymore. Nothing that would be usable, but again, I'm not recalling. I don't think we have any spare shafts anymore.
What does Greg Nelson have? Old engines? Robin hired Greg Nelson to move before the sale of the ferry line. I thought it was props. There
Yeah,
were at
there
least
was-
8 or 10 out there, correct?
Yeah, and those were all like deficient derelict props. So props that we could never use again. All props that were usable stayed.
Okay, got it.
Some of them were mismade, some of them were heavily pitted, didn't fit or unusable.
Right.
I have a question. Is this where, does the ski grooming bunch have equipment on our property there?
yes,
And
may have
is
been.
that-
I don't think right now.
Maybe
yeah,
been removed.
but during the season they do.
During the
Yeah,
winter time.
just want to be on top of that piece of it too.
It's a good point.
But hopefully this fall, all 3 structures will be removed.
Anything else for Katie? I will move then that we place the Chief Administrative Officer report on file.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Yeah.
Motion carries. Now we'll move on to consider approval of dredging and piling contract. Cal, do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, I would recommend that, you know, we proceed with it. I don't see any surprises. It was written by Cooper Engineering. I was speaking with Cooper yesterday to make sure that we, you know, have good systems in place to audit, to make sure that, you know, everything is being accounted for, whether it's, you know, piling, overall material used, or, you know, amount of spoils removed from the lake. So we're working on that as well to make sure that, you know, we again have a way to account for everything in the contract. They have started driving the piling yesterday, so we've got some piling in already. And then we should have that actually wrapped up pretty quickly here, and then we'll move to the dredging.
Great. I will move then that we accept the approve the contract.
This is with
Cooper
With-
Engineering.
That's with Nelson Construction.
Nelson Construction.
Written by Cooper Engineering. Yeah, so they went through and created the contract based off of the bid and the parameters.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss handicap parking for ferry on island.
I did talk with Max regarding that. There's no specific process or anything to actually getting one of the spots. I'm assuming we were referring to the longer term parking that's between the post office and the ticketing booth.
Yeah.
I would say. yeah.
He just recommended that we consult with maybe the town board first, because he does believe that the town would get pushback about taking one of those spots. He did speak with a few individuals that utilize handicap parking spots. A lot of them do have like mobility issues, and they said that they would never park there because they have to take their vehicle on the car anyways. But that does not include anybody that would be using that disabled spot, essentially. So he just recommended discussing with the town board. It just comes down to ordering the sign and having it painted as a handicap spot.
Don't you have to make it wider though, so that a van door can open and a wheelchair?
There's
if
different
that-
types of spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are two spots up on Main Street, I think either side of,
The crosswalk.
Yeah, I don't know if
Mhm.
we're really solving the problem that was kind of brought, it's the long traverse down the dock.
Yeah.
So I don't know
The golf
if the issue was ever parking.
Yeah.
It was parking closer to the end of the dock. I thought Cal's golf cart suggestion was a pretty good idea. And another thing I thought when I left the meeting was that might be something that someone on the island might have or donate. Like sometimes people run out of their use for their golf carts, and or something the church might want to pursue. If we were saying we were looking for it for accessibility to get to the end of the dock, that might be something people might either donate money towards or donate an existing golf cart.
we could run it past Rich also. There may be grant opportunities for such a item.
Accessibility, yeah. I just thought it'd be worth pursuing. And I think it's a,
I think it's good.
good service.
And we can ask. I mean,
Yeah,
because there are families with golf carts that we use.
exactly. It becomes kind of a thing that people don't use anymore sometimes.
Yeah, great idea.
I'll ask through.
Go ahead, Cal.
And with that, while we're, if we're going kind of that avenue, a couple of notes that I'd like to make is just our maintenance, we feel would probably be significantly less on an electric unit versus a gas unit. And then I think, to complement it, again, if we're going this route, it would be advantageous for, I think, us as well as you know, the individuals with mobility concerns to have one on both sides, so that if we, you know, needed to, you know, if they had a park further uptown, we could bring them uptown. You know, we have this issue as well, where when we operate out of Old Harbor, you know, we end up having to have this chase vehicle, you know, to kind of go over there, come back over here, and, you know, being able to shuttle people in a, you know, smaller groups, and that would be helpful. We've used our van historically for larger groups, but I think there would again be a use case for that on this side as well, that would minimize you know, having to use those larger vehicles for that.
Well, one comment on an electric golf cart. Parks has an electric golf cart, and we end up putting about $1,500 in batteries in it every year because they burn up. So that's an expense that we have to think about if we're gonna go electric. And then over in Bayfield, we would have to get a road legal
Yeah,
cart
exactly.
to be able to go to the Old Harbor, correct?
Yeah, I think there's
Here too.
regulations in Bayfield that allow, you know, and I'd have to brush up on that, but I know that there's some regulations that allow golf carts, you know, to operate on the roads, and I'm sure you're right, it's got to check certain boxes, but I've seen people, you know, utilize their carts to go from up at their houses down to shore. And I asked about that once upon a time, but yeah, it would definitely require a kind of another visit.
I have a question for Cal.
Yeah.
Is there still a reserved handicap spot just to the right of the ticket booth in Bayfield?
So there's just to the right or just outside of the herring shed.
No,
You know,
I'm saying next to the ticket booth in Bayfield.
next to the ticket booth in Bayfield. There really isn't parking next to there's parking up on First Street next to the ticket booth. There's parking, you know, across in that next to the like Quonset hut in the middle. But the only handicap spaces that I'm available or aware of are the ones right next to the herring shed. There's one, and then we have one in the dirt lot as well.
Okay, there used to be one adjacent to the ticket booth.
Susie, it actually was adjacent to the walkway that goes up to First Street.
There you go. Either
There
way.
used to be a spot there. Katie Hintz Knopf used to park there all the time.
Yeah, my dad used to park in the other spot I'm talking about, so.
Is
Not right
that spot not there anymore?
I have no idea.
I think that's all been turned into employee parking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is pretty off limits to the public now.
And
Oh, you're talking about in our brick lot. Yeah, in our,
Yes.
in our
Brick
brick
lot.
Yes, sorry. I thought you were talking street. No, in the brick lot, no, we use that for, all of those spaces are reserved for, freight vehicles.
okay,
And
but
that
on
was-
the right-hand side of the ticket booth, once upon a time, had a handicap sign on it.
Yeah, I believe, yeah, from memory, yep, there was, when those spots were open to the public, we did have a handicap spot there, yes.
Is there a reason to take that particular spot away for employee parking?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the justification that we did when, you know, when we were removing all of those spots, is it created pretty substantial conflict having customers coming into the brick lot. You know, they would block traffic. They'd have to often sit there while we cleared traffic. You know, we can better utilize those spots ourselves for our freight vehicles. And then, you know, the handicap spot that we have available, you know, foot for foot, you know, if you were to measure the distance from boarding the ferry, you know, they're the same distance. So, you know, if we wanted to add another one to the dirt lot, we could certainly do so. And arguably would be just as close to the ferry, and certainly less of a, you know, difficulty for maneuvering around, you know, traffic.
That's all I got.
And yeah, currently there's one in the dirt lot right now. But if there was to add another, and then there's one even closer on the city street. That's the closest parking spot to the ferry ramp, is the one on the city street.
Well, it sounds like we have a path to of exploration here, figure out the legality of and access of some kind of a motorized vessel.
I'm just curious who will staff it? Because those ticket sellers need to sell tickets, the traffic guy needs to maneuver traffic. So are office personnel gonna be running it? How
No,
are people?
I mean, I would anticipate that it's ultimately at the frequency in which this happens. You know, we could train in certain individuals, such as, you know, I could have a deckhand that can do it. I could have, you know, a traffic assistant do it. And I think between them, with the frequency that this happens, I think we'd be okay. You know,
So how
our
frequent-
are already.
How
ahead.
frequent then? What is
I
it?
don't
Very.
currently, I don't see it as a major, you know, I think there's going to be a few people. And again, if this is something that evolved into, you know, requiring more than the staff that we currently have, you know, yeah, we could hire somebody to do that. I think that would be, you know, a beneficial service. If all of a sudden, you know, we're moving people with disabilities every trip, it might warrant, you know, having somebody staffed to help with that throughout the summer. But as of right now, I mean, I would start by utilizing existing staff, you know, and again, with an electric golf cart, I would assume they would be up and back within, you know, 3 minutes.
I'm going to recommend to the crowd for chewing on taking a period of time and making an actual count of how many requests there are, whether we want to set up right now with that service or whether we just want to know how often this question comes up and we happen to use the van or whatever. But I think that some traffic count is important.
And with that, I could say, I mean, one of the big reasons for, you know, advocating for it now in Bayfield, you're right. I don't think it would be as utilized as often as much. But certainly on the island, you know, for the first one, for the trial one, if there was a way to get something maybe through a third party, the use for us in freight and moving, you know, packages, smaller packages, not a full vehicle's worth, you know, to the office or up to the freight building, or moving those things around, you know, just from a utility purpose to the ferry line would be pretty significant. There would be use for that immediately, and we would certainly get the value out of it.
I agree. I agree. But I'm not sure that we need to seek out 2 carts at this point, but just one.
Yeah, I'm just saying if we were talking about a grant, right? So I think if we were to go through the effort of, you know, grant writing to definitely capitalize on, you know, we could use another one in Bayfield as well.
Right.
Yeah,
In the interim, we could be asking the public through this coming Gazette, and under the circumstances, I think we should know what we want and need in order to get that article correct.
I think getting a little carried away.
Yeah, if I could point out, we've got this room for another hour.
I would think that handicap parking spot somewhere in the area of the post office would be nice for people either getting into the post office or somebody who wants to walk down the boat either way. But so I would like to see if the town board would allow for one to be created down somewhere down in that parking area.
I agree with that.
Does anyone, or is there a motion or anything?
Well, I think Collins was going to reach out to see if we
Yeah,
can
see if-
do donations. And
No, I
No,
was thinking.
it's
of the
just
town
the parking
board,
spot.
the parking
It's not the
spot
golf
for
cart.
I guess I'd make a motion to ask the town board to have Public Works create a handicap parking spot somewhere in the area of the post office.
I'd second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Just out of curiosity, would it make more sense to put it on the dockside side? Because that's where the walkway is. It's on that side of the dock.
I mean,
That would be an ideal spot to steal a parking spot from.
I think
Martha
so.
Coleman would be pissed, but
Yep,
that's,
but that's, I mean,
and get it on the end so that width can be the proper width. I mean, you're gonna have to redo all those lines on the other side to accommodate a
That's a good point because the width is they're not the same as the
snow
snow.
regular car.
Yeah.
and there are 2 spots right up on Main Street. I'm hesitant to eat up
But
critical,
if we put it on dockside, then we
Right.
don't.
right? That would be adding a new spot. I like that.
I do too.
Assuming there's not a west wind and that ramp is getting hammered with water.
Yeah, free car wash.
Clean car.
So we had a motion and a second. We voted.
Yep.
I did not vote. I'm an aye.
Okay.
With Mary's recommended location.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Yes.
Motion carries then. Next up, palletized cargo contract and possible cargo contract.
I think it should be palletized cargo tariff and possible cargo contract.
Okay.
And so it was brought to my attention just before the last town board meeting where we were going to be voting on the tariff submission, that there had been some miscommunication or lack of communication between the Harbor Commission and MIFL regarding the palletized cargo tariff that we had recommended to the town board. And so the town board voted to approve the tariff that was recommended with the exception of the hourly rate change and the palletized cargo tariff. So that there could be further discussions on that. There were further discussions on that. Katie met with Cal and Katie Butke, and forwarded that on to the tariff committee, Evan and myself. And they made a good argument, that MIFL made a good argument for not going with the proposed suggested tariff change for palletized cargo, and actually suggested an alternative might be to have an individual contract with Darlings. And Evan and I agreed that we thought that was a good approach. I subsequently got a call from Lauren Schuppe, extensive discussion about the tariffs, and suggested to her the idea of a contract, and she also seemed amenable to that.
Good.
And I've talked to Cal since then, and I think with, Katie's absence, I'd be happy to talk with Cal further and see if we can come up with something that's mutually agreeable to them and to us.
Which Katie absence.
Katie Kisner. She's in North Carolina.
I'm in North Carolina.
Yeah,
I'll be
okay.
back on island on Sunday.
did
Just
not
so
know that.
everybody knows.
It's a good idea.
Is there, I guess, I'm coming in blind with this. There's been no communication from the tariff committee to the Harbor Commission?
Well, in one of our previous meetings, we had a discussion of the rates for Darlings, and we made that recommendation of the palletized cargo and a reduction in the labor. I don't know if that was a meeting that,
That
it
wasn't.
was like 2 or 3 meetings ago that we discussed this.
And it was part of the changes that we approved at our last meeting, but we didn't really.
That
get
came
into those
after,
in detail.
that was after our meeting. Our meeting was a Monday. Glenn sent us an email on Tuesday. That about the palletized cargo. The only thing we approved was the adding the 30th of September.
Well, we approved, the Harbor Commission approved the whole thing, approved the palletized cargo at our last meeting.
That was part of the tariff?
Yes.
We didn't really discuss it at the last meeting.
Right.
We went more into detail on the changes to the mag card refills for the commuter tax benefit. But that was included from a prior meeting.
That was just for town employees.
Right,
Yeah.
but that was written into the tariff, and that's what we approved at the last meeting.
And
This
the,
other language had been added earlier and not submitted yet.
okay,
Yeah, so it was,
missed it.
it was, so we changed where it had been $5.25 per 100 pounds
Right.
for their palletized cargo. What the Harbor Commission had approved putting into the tariff was in lieu of that, the $14 a ton
Okay.
idea, and that was, I think, Mifflin's primary concern, because of other palletized cargo that isn't as neat and orderly as what they get from Darlings. So anyhow, so the town board deferred
Right.
that part of it. We did approve the other part of the
Right.
tariff, the September 30th free
And the
passenger
employee-
and the employee
It's not
recharge.
commuter, it's just town employees who,
It's town employees.
Right.
It has nothing to do with commuting.
right,
Well, it's related to the IRC 32F, which is detailed as the commuter tax.
Well, we have to be
Tax commuter
careful. We have
benefit.
to be careful about calling it commuter because these are not people that are commuting
every
to
day,
work.
right?
Yeah, so I, it is under section 132F, but it's not. This is not intended to be used for commuting to
Right,
work.
right.
But anyhow, so if everyone's fine with Cal and I talking to
Okay,
each other and to Darlings,
so what would it would stay at $14 a ton for Darlings only in this contract, or?
I think that probably, it probably, and I need to talk to Cal about this, but it seems like sort of a per trip charge that isn't on a tonnage base, to make it as simple as possible.
Got it.
So,
That accounts for revenue that the fridge truck should generate.
basically, yeah. And the hourly, and then you've got the
And then
hourly
the
rate on
labor
top of it,
involved.
right?
Yeah, I would recommend that you guys see if you can't figure out an arrangement.
Thanks.
I'll second that recommendation. Just logistically, I forget how the Bayfield school contract ties into the tariff or what kind of changes we'd have to make to the tariff itself to, if any.
Yeah, I don't believe that the Bayfield school contract, and I don't believe that actually the FedEx or the UPS, I don't think those contracts are in the tariff.
They're not, there's language, I think, that talks about any contracts. Is it in our tariff or is it just the railroad commission that says if we have contracts that we can change rates?
That's the way that I understand it, is that's just a part of the regulations.
So if you go into effect immediately without.
Yeah, and then,
once-
yeah, and in talking with Lauren, her concern was that, based on what the Harbor Commission did, she was expecting that there'd be a change, before they had their big summer rush, and when they really use the reefer truck. And so, if we can probably, Cal and I can get together here in the next few days to try to work something out that would be, able to become effective about as soon as it would have been effective had the tariff gone through. So basically, I think we've got about another 2 weeks before the tariff, the September 30th and the employee fringe benefit goes into effect.
That one will be effective June 13th. And then the only stipulation from the Railroad Commission about contracts is that they have to have like an expiration date.
Okay, great.
Katie, a while ago, just in terms of the Bayfield school contract, you had reached out about having them try to move some of their spring sports dinners, things to Thursday nights because of it would work with the both printed schedule so much better. Did we ever hear back from the school district?
Nope, I never received a response with that request.
We don't need to vote on the recommendation. All right, let's move on then to the HAP project update. I'll start. We just approved the contract.
There we go. Thanks for that, Zach.
Thank you, Zach.
Well done.
That's most of it. I guess at this stage, like I said, we've started driving piling and, expect to have that done. No major surprises there so far. moving pretty quick on it. They're already getting in place to put in the next cluster 3 right outside here. I see them moving. So yeah, we should have that wrapped up here definitely by the end of this week. The piling, which will just then leave the dredging. Once that's done, there will be the kind of the billing component, and then we will have that wrapped up. We will submit for a final reimbursement as soon as the check is cleared, and then that would be ultimately the conclusion. So we're definitely in the home stretch here.
Great.
Thank you.
Long-term finance task force update.
I'm here. The group met initially with the getting to know you phase and who are we, what do we contribute? And ultimately we determined to bring Leon, excuse me, on board, which the commission did approve. And it's a good thing because he's a pretty good guy. He's smart, very smart. He's run into some information about debt consolidation that could be very useful to us in terms of bonds. That is his professional background. We've talked about grant considerations and some other kinds of debt financing options, but we're really in the research phase now and just getting some bank proposal ideas out so that we can shop them around town or around the region. We continue to meet every couple of weeks and consider ourselves able to stay with the schedule that will have a final report in your hands in September.
Thank you, Susie.
Yep, thanks. Discuss the purchase of AEDs.
So I saw that, this is something I think we should talk with Rich about and or Sarah. There's tons of programs out there giving away
Right.
AEDs.
Yep.
I have one at the beach club that someone gave me a couple of years ago. They were giving them all over town. Everyone got one. So I think we should contact the hospitals, Rich, Sarah, ask people to reach out and see if there's not a program to just get one.
Or two.
Or two.
Well, yeah, probably as many as we thought.
But they're not putting them on the boats. They're putting one in the herring shed and one attached to the island to get.
Yeah,
Okay.
the location is as many. I think that we could probably get those for free.
Great.
That's great. I can see him around.
Good. And I can speak for the ones we use at the ski hill are nowhere near this expensive. Nowhere near this.
Cal has
And they're
something.
ped and adult compatible.
Yeah, I was just saying if we can get them for free, it'd be great to have 3 for the boats as well. If
So
then we could,
5.
5 would be phenomenal.
All right.
Cal, and when the weather gets cold, those would have to come inside every night, right? Or down in
We
an
keep-
engine room that's heated or whatever?
Keep them in
On
the
the Queen.
wheelhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the heat
Yep.
stays on in the wheelhouse all night in winter?
Yep.
Great.
I'd imagine there's training involved.
Yes, and so 50% of our boat crew or greater have to be AED CPR first aid certified. So on every boat, there's half the crew equivalency of somebody that could operate it.
So they can walk you through it on 911. They're
Right,
really
and
user friendly.
They're really
They
Yeah.
do.
dumbing down. You
Yeah.
can, any person can, well, I shouldn't
One.
say any person, but
Yeah, very,
it's
very close.
very easy to do. As long as you're not shaking.
It's the number one tool for success in CPR. So it's the biggest factor.
Huh.
It's a AED being activated.
Wow.
Yeah, as a point of communication, I think that since Becky was researching this for as long as she was, that we might have heard about this interest prior to its being a budget request. So just let's communicate early and often.
Motion.
Well,
I'll move that we table this until we have more.
I think we should get an action plan to who will reach out to whom.
Yep.
I can talk to Sarah if someone else can talk to Rich
I'll talk to Rich.
and Who else did I think could help? Did I recommend anyone?
But he said
Hospitals?
hospital.
Yeah, I think that one of the programs was through the hospital, through Tamarack had them for donation. So maybe Sarah can reach out to them. We'll start with Sarah and Reg and see if we can.
He said in this report they talked to her, but yeah.
Well, just about the model.
Oh, just what Mark did, okay.
So I had a motion to table. Was there a second?
Second.
Motion a second. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next up, Miffle report on trip cancellations.
Kind of a white paper.
Yeah, it's the thesis.
I think this is great, information for the website. And if people have issues in with cancellations in the future, we have somewhere to direct them.
Absolutely. And it's a
Good suggestion.
Yeah, this is relevance.
And thank you for putting it together, Cal.
Yeah, nice job.
Yes,
So,
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead, Cal.
It's been a long time in the making. We've Ariadna here was awesome in helping get all of that documented as far as historical evidence on that. There's some cool trends that you can see happen, and so it's pretty interesting, and we'll continue to track it going forward. So this can be a kind of an ongoing point of something to look at.
Do we need a motion to put that on the website or let's just put it on the website?
Let's go put it on the website.
Approval of bills. Are there bills here somewhere, Katie?
You're on.
You're on mute.
Yes, they're right next to the mailboxes where
Okay.
they were stacked with the expenses.
I should have grabbed them. Okay. Talking about yourselves.
That project next door, the amount of.
Oh, the Gretzner project.
Yeah, I mean,
I gotta find somewhere to put it all.
it's just been shoved around.
Yeah, and I gotta cut the driveway down even further,
Really?
yeah.
I will move that we approve the bills as submitted in the amount of $141,764.46.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Future agenda items.
Yeah, what's going on with housing for emergency boat personnel?
Cal has found a place, Larry Harris's house on Penny Lane. It's a 2-bedroom, full kitchen. I don't know if,
Oh, it's one of the old.
I don't know if they've struck a final agreement or not, but
That could be an agenda.
Yeah, it could be an agenda item.
Future agenda.
Just an
Oh, yeah.
update or a housing
Well, or a
update?
decision depending on how much has been done.
It's one of the Hartzell places, right?
it was built by Hartzell, but it's Maggie's house. Larry and Annie have owned
Yeah,
it forever, and it was
right.
on the VRBO
Oh, okay.
for a while. But he got sick of dealing with it. He closed it.
And it's like, what, less than about a mile from the ferry?
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty ideal.
Yeah.
Would the Harbor Commission need to make like an official motion for the Middle Road properties to request that the town places that like on their schedule to remove the ones that are not planning for the burn?
Did Pete Wiggins get back on whether he would tear down the building? Someone was gonna talk to him.
I did, yeah,
October.
he said that
You can do
the
it.
town could get it on the schedule for the end of October.
I don't know that we need a motion. Or, yeah,
Well, should we inform him then? I mean,
We're gonna
if there was a burn, it would just be the house and the garage, or, I mean, the Quonset would definitely be a tear down.
What I originally heard, they had just approved the house, but I have to follow up on that. And why don't we just keep this on the agenda for
Sure.
the burn and
The middle road
disposal of the
property.
middle road property?
Refuse removal, maybe.
And to keep the AEDs on the agenda.
Yeah.
And maybe a follow-up on the golf cart in the park and the parking spot. All I can think of.
When do we meet again?
Definitely before, when does the tariff take effect? The 13th?
The 13th.
If Glenn and
Yeah, we could have
Cal can,
the contract, the Darlings contract.
so 13th is Saturday. We could meet the 8th. That'd be our Monday meeting.
8th at 4:30.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okey doke.
Public comment? Condolences, Katie.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to hear. Completely in the dark.
What happens?
Let's move on, I guess, to, with hearing no public comment, to the Town of LaPointe Harbor Commission and Bayfield Harbor Commission MOU.
I don't know that there is anything that we need to talk about in closed session. I did bring Cal up to date that we still have not heard back from the mayor Bayfield. And so I was going to suggest, I'm happy to, and if Zach is able to go to their next meeting, which is,
We reply to whoever the harbor commissioner over there, his letter saying that the 30-day thing does apply.
well, I have written to the mayor about that our attorney has concerns about the MOU that they proposed. And that we would like to suggest that their attorney and our attorney get together and talk about some of the drafting issues and the old MOU.
the 2017.
Yeah, right. So,
We
So
haven't
we're-
heard back.
no, I understand that. I didn't know that a letter was being written to the mayor. By the
Yeah,
steering committee. But-
Did she reach out to you?
yeah, and I shared that.
Yeah, it recommended in the last meeting that Glenn contact the mayor directly and see if we couldn't just get them
The
to
steering
understand.
committee
that-
or the harbor commission?
We all,
Technically, at the last meeting, I was going to, I believe it was Full Harbor
Write a
Commission.
letter.
I was gonna write a letter to, what's
Right,
his-
you were gonna write the letters, yeah.
But then, before I was able to draft the letter, I believe the mayor reached out to Glenn.
yes.
And then at that point, we just decided it was easier for the attorneys to hash it out than for us to go back and forth.
though I think there is, all of us had kind of a sentiment that if we could not have it be a high profile
Yeah.
issue.
Our hope was that they could
Conversation.
understand that it was just a
Yeah.
matter of
Yeah.
terminology more than.
Exactly.
So the 2017 MOU is not a significant player. It looks like we're going back to a new MOU.
No, I think at this point, we should go into closed session if we're going to talk about this in
Oh, okay.
this kind of detail.
Okay.
So I'll move, we go into closed session to discuss the Bayfield Harbor Commission MOU
I'll second.
and also for the review of the Miffle management contract after the MOU discussion.
And I'll ask that Cal stay for that discussion. Roll call vote, Mary Ross,
Yes.
George, Joseph Wiltz,
Yes.
Susie Widmar,
Yes,
Michael
Aye.
Collins, Evan Erickson.
Yes.
I am a yes. Glenn Carlson.
Yes.
We are entering public comment or closed session. Pardon my. Gotta shut this
Now, I,
recording off. Hold on. No, where's the YouTube?
on the live stream, I think you were,
Thought that if you go back to the Zoom,
Is it under more?
I thought so.
yeah, you,
Oh, you're on mute, Katie.
Katie, you're on.
Record the top left there.
Okay.
Stop recording.
Pause
Or
recording.
pause.
and then.
You
No,
can
I
do,
stopped
yeah,
it.
you can do either.
Are you sure you want to stop recording to the cloud? Yes.
Yes.
And then, does that automatically stop YouTube or do you gotta go on
It does
top?
That's-
not. So you should
you
be
gotta
able,
go-
there's either 3 dots or more again. And they'll go to the live stream and there should be an option to stop live stream.
Second one up there, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I just was.
And then just click that blue thing.
No,